Ever just vanish for a few hours? Like, poof, gone. No explanation. Or maybe you're convinced you saw something wild in the sky, but nobody believes you.
Right. Those moments when you're like, wait, did that really happen? I think those experiences are so interesting because they make you question, like, what we think is real.
Yeah, totally. It's like our brain is playing tricks on us, or maybe there's something more going on, right? So today we're going to dive deep into alien encounters and the idea that they might be more than just a sci-fi fantasy. And our source for this, a lecture transcript from this woman who's been a hypnotherapist for like 40 years.
Yeah, and she's been focusing on past life regression and hypnotherapy with people who believe they've been abducted by aliens for the past 20 years.
So not just past lives, but like past alien encounters. Okay, I'm intrigued. But why use hypnotherapy? Wouldn't people just remember these experiences clearly? You'd think they would.
Well, she argues that all the stuff in our modern environment, the chemicals and pollution and even medications, it can mess with our memories, especially memories that could be traumatic, like an alien abduction. And so what happens is people end up with these fragmented memories, almost dreamlike, clouded with fear and confusion.
So the memories are there, but they're like hidden, buried under layers of distortion.
Exactly, and that's where these deep trance techniques she uses come in. She believes that going into a deep trance lets you bypass the distortion and get to the core of the experience, the raw data, so to speak, like what really happened.
So she's kind of like a memory detective, piecing together these alien encounters. Can you give us like a specific example of how this works?
For her. One thing that he talks about a lot is missing time. Have you heard of that? Where people have these gaps in their memory, sometimes hours long, that they can't explain. She mentions this one case where a woman was out for lunch and lost like half a day.
Whoa, that's scary. It's like a chunk of their life just disappeared. But she also talks about something even weirder, condensed time, where things seem to happen way faster than they should. What's that all about?
This is where it gets really freaky. So she tells these stories about two women who experience condensed time while driving. They describe it as this eerie silence, no cars on the road, everything's kind of frozen. And get this, they reach their destination much faster than they should have.
Oh, that's creepy. It's like they stepped into some alternate dimension where time doesn't work the same way. What's her explanation for that?
Okay, get ready for this because it's a wild one. She thinks that during these condensed time experiences, the aliens are actually pausing the abductees' world, like hitting a cosmic pause button so they can download information into their subconscious without disrupting their normal life.
Whoa, this is some serious sci-fi stuff. That makes you wonder, why? Why all the secrecy? Why mess with time and memory? What are these aliens trying to do?
This is where the lecture takes a turn. It gets kind of philosophical. She suggests that the whole point of aliens interacting with us isn't really about abduction or doing harm. It's something much bigger, like guiding human evolution.
Wow. So we're not just talking about random abductions, but like a long-term plan for humanity. That's a big statement. Did she have any evidence to back that up?
Well, she connects the idea of aliens seeding life on planets to all those culture bringer myths that different culture have. Those stories about gods coming down from the sky and teaching humans stuff like fire or agriculture.
Right, like Prometheus giving fire to humans, or the Egyptian god Osiris teaching people about farming. But is she really suggesting that those myths are based on real alien encounters?
That's exactly what she's saying. She sees those myths as remnants, as those of a time when aliens were living among humans, acting as these culture bringers, helping us kickstart civilization.
That's a pretty wild thought. But if they were so involved in our past, why the shift to secrecy? Why the abductions and memory manipulations?
That's where this idea of non-interference comes in. She thinks that aliens have to follow a cosmic law that limits how much they can directly interfere with us. They can offer guidance, teach us things, maybe nudge us in a certain direction, but they can't actually control us.
So they're like cosmic mentors watching over us, offering subtle help, but ultimately respecting our free will.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like they can give us a gift, but what we do with it is up to us. Even if we mess up and use it for something destructive, they have to let us make our own choices.
That's an interesting concept, this delicate balance between guidance and free will. But she also mentioned something that kind of messed up this whole plan, like an unexpected event that threw human evolution off course.
Right. Here's where the story takes a bit of a dark turn. She claims that a meteorite brought disease to Earth, which disrupted the original plan for humans to be perfect and disease-free.
Wait, so all our problems with sickness and death are because of a random space rock? That's kind of depressing.
It's definitely not a cheerful thought, but she says this event forced the aliens to step in and start what she calls upgrading humans. They're trying to counteract all the disease and damage that we've caused to ourselves and the planet.
Upgrading humans. What does that even mean? What are they doing to us?
All right, now we're getting to the really weird stuff. She thinks all those strange procedures that people report during abductions, like medical exams, collecting sperm and eggs, even cattle mutilations, it's all part of this upgrading process.
So they're basically trying to fix what went wrong, tweaking our biology to make us stronger and more resistant to disease. But why all the secrecy? Why not just tell us what they're doing?
She says it goes back to that non-interference principle. They can't just show up and announce they're going to start messing with our DNA. They have to work behind the scenes, subtly guiding our evolution without directly breaking the rules.
That's a tricky situation, isn't it? Trying to help a species, but also respecting their autonomy. But she also challenges one of the most common images we have of aliens, those gray beings with the big eyes and skinny bodies.
Oh yeah, she totally debunks the whole gray alien thing. She says they're not actually a separate alien species, but something way creepier. They're bioengineered beings, basically robots, created by a more advanced race to do their dirty work on Earth.
Hold on, so those classic gray alien images we see everywhere, those aren't the real masterminds, they're just bioengineered workers. That's kind of unsettling.
Yeah, it raises a lot of questions about who the real puppet masters are, where are they, what do they look like, and what are they really planning for humanity?
This is getting deeper and deeper. It's clear we've only just scratched the surface of this woman's story, so stick around as we delve further into this strange and fascinating world in the next part of our deep dive.
Makes you wonder, right? Who are these guys behind the scenes, pulling the strings? I mean, if the Greys are just like puppets, what's their plan for us humans? Why all the mystery?
A giant puzzle spread out across, I don't know, time in our minds. We've been talking about aliens throughout history, but what about more recently? Like right now, she mentioned some stuff about crashed UFOs and government cover-ups. What's the deal with that?
Well, there's this one story that really sticks out. This guy claims he was on a military team that responded to a crashed UFO in Kentucky back in the 70s. He says it was this small craft, alien bodies, and this weird, clear liquid everywhere.
Sounds like a movie. What happened then?
He says another helicopter showed up, full of high-ranking officers. They ordered his team to leave right then and there. Back at the base, they had to go through these intense debriefing sessions. He says it felt more like they were trying to shut him up than learn anything.
Classic cover-up. Hiding the truth about aliens.
That's what he believes. He said they threatened him and his team with some serious consequences if they ever talked about what they saw. And to make sure they kept quiet, they got transferred to different bases so they couldn't even compare notes.
So, if these crashes are actually happening, why? Are aliens just bad at flying?
You know, she actually says that alien pilots are usually really skilled. But there are certain things in our atmosphere, like thunderstorms, that can mess with their technology, and that could cause crashes.
So it's not intentional, just their tech failing when it comes up against Earth's environment.
That's her theory. It kind of shows that even these super advanced aliens have limitations, right? Their tech might be amazing, but it's not perfect, especially on a planet like Earth that's constantly changing and throwing curveballs.
Right. Okay, let's switch gears for a sec. Back to this new Earth idea. That's a pretty big concept. Is she talking about a physical change? A different dimension, or what?
It's a little vague, but she describes it as this total transformation, a shift to a higher vibration, a place of pure, perfection. It's almost like Earth itself is evolving, shedding its old self and becoming something new.
So it's not just aliens messing with humans, it's the Earth itself going through a metamorphosis.
Yeah, exactly. She says that the Earth is alive, a conscious being, and it's pushing back against all the damage we've done. This new Earth is like its response, a way to separate those who vibe with its higher frequency from those who don't.
It's like a cosmic sorting hat, separating the good from the bad, the evolved from the, unevolved. But what about the people who get left behind? What happens to them?
She paints a pretty grim picture. The old Earth goes through this intense, cleansing process, lots of upheaval and destruction. It's like the planet's purging itself of all the negativity. That's the total opposite of the utopian new Earth, she describes.
That's intense. So how do you get chosen for this new Earth? Is it based on what you do? What you believe? Is it in your DNA? Or is it just random?
She doesn't really give a straight answer, but she hints that our choices, how we treat each other and the planet, might play a role. It's like she's saying we need to go through some kind of spiritual evolution to be in tune with the new Earth's higher frequency.
So it's not just about surviving physically, but about transforming your consciousness, like changing your whole way of being.
That's what it sounds like. And she ties it back to those alien upgrades. It's not just about fixing our bodies, but about boosting our spiritual abilities, getting us ready for this big shift.
So it's not about dodging a global disaster, it's about becoming something more than human. embracing a whole new way of thinking and existing in the world.
Raises a lot of questions, right? What does it even mean to be a new human? What kind of qualities or abilities would let someone thrive on this new Earth? And can everyone make the cut? Or are some people just, I don't know, destined to be left behind?
This new human idea is really fascinating. What are the specific changes she thinks are happening? Is there any hint of what this next level of human evolution might look like?
Oh yeah, she goes into some pretty interesting detail. She says that aliens are working on things like boosting our intuition, telepathy, and even our connection to some kind of universal consciousness.
Whoa, that's crazy. It's like she's describing a humanity with superpowers, like tapping into abilities we think of as paranormal or supernatural. But if that's already happening, why aren't we seeing more of it?
Well, she says these enhancements are happening gradually, and they're kind of dormant until, like, a certain switch flips. It's like planting a seed. It needs the right conditions to sprout. She thinks the shift to the new Earth will be that trigger, activating all these hidden abilities, unlocking a whole new level of human potential.
That's a pretty amazing thought. A humanity that's not just healthier and stronger, but also spiritually awakened and connected. It sounds like a utopia, but are there any downsides to this transformation? Any risks or unexpected consequences?
She does say that this transformation won't be easy. She says that activating these abilities can be confusing, even scary for some people. It's like suddenly getting a bunch of new senses and perceptions, but no instructions on how to use them.
So it's not a guaranteed one-way ticket to paradise. There will be bumps in the road, adjustments to make as we get used to this new reality.
Exactly. It's not like we flip a switch and become superhuman overnight. It takes effort, a willingness to face our fears and limitations as we integrate these new abilities into our lives.
Sounds like a journey that's both exciting and terrifying, a leap into the unknown with the potential for both amazing growth and some serious challenges.
And remember, this is just one perspective, one way of looking at this huge and complex phenomenon. We got to keep an open mind, but also be a little skeptical, right?
Totally. We're talking about some pretty wild claims that need some serious evidence. But even if we play along for a minute, this vision of a new Earth and a new human makes you think about the future of humanity in a whole new way.
It really challenges us to rethink what it means to be human, you know? To consider the possibility that we're on the verge of something huge, a transformation that could completely change our place in the universe.
This deep dive has been a wild ride so far. Alien abductions, government secrets, cosmic gardeners, the potential for a new human. It's a lot to process. Where do we go from here? What other mind-blowing stuff awaits as we keep exploring this amazing story? So we've gone deep down the rabbit hole of alien encounters, explored this idea of a new Earth, and even considered what a new human might be like. But here's the big question. What does it all mean for us, like right now, in our everyday lives?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the big picture, you know, the cosmic stuff. But the real power of these ideas is how we can use them in our lives today. Like, what if we really are part of this massive cosmic play that changes how we see things, right? It opens up new ways of thinking and living.
So it's not about just sitting around and waiting for aliens to show up or the planet to transform. It's about taking these ideas and using them in our daily lives, our relationships, how we understand ourselves in the universe.
Exactly. Like, take the non-interference thing. It's not just some rule for aliens. It's something we can do with each other. It's about respecting other people's choices, even if we don't agree with them. Realizing that we can't force people to do what we want.
I like that. It's like shifting from control to collaboration. And what about this upgrading thing? Can we do that to ourselves?
Totally. Remember how she talked about aliens trying to improve our intuition, telepathy, and connection to a universal consciousness? Well, we can't really count on aliens to do that for us, but we can do things to develop those qualities ourselves.
So things like meditation, mindfulness, energy work, being in nature, those can be like our own ways of upgrading our consciousness, tuning into that higher frequency she talked about.
You got it. It's about taking charge of our own evolution. We have the power to change our own consciousness, expand our awareness, reach our full potential. We don't need aliens to do it for us.
That's pretty inspiring. It's like we have more control than we think. But you also mentioned this coming shift, this transition to a new Earth. If we can't rely on some outside force to make it happen, what can we do?
That's where seeding comes in. Just like aliens supposedly planted life on Earth, we can plant the seeds of positive change in our communities and the world. Every act of kindness, every creative thing we do, every effort to live in harmony with ourselves and the planet, it's like planting a seed for this new Earth to grow.
So it's not about escaping to some perfect world. It's about creating it here and now through our choices, actions, and intentions.
That's the whole point. We're not just along for the ride, we're actively shaping how things evolve. We have the power to create the future, not through big dramatic gestures, but through the small choices we make every day.
That's a powerful message. It's a reminder that we're not helpless, that we have the power to make a difference. Even in the middle of all the chaos and uncertainty, we can choose to be a force for good.
Absolutely. And if we embrace that idea, if we actively participate in our own evolution and the evolution of our world, maybe this new Earth and new human thing isn't so crazy after all.
It's been quite a journey, exploring this woman's perspective on alien encounters, human evolution, and the fate of our planet. Whether we believe her or not, she makes us think outside the box, question what we think is real, and realize our own potential to change things.
And maybe that's the biggest takeaway from all this. A sense of wonder, a feeling of connection to everything, and an invitation to step into our power as conscious creators of the future.
Thanks for joining us on this amazing exploration. Don't forget, the journey doesn't stop here. Keep asking questions, keep searching, keep expanding your mind. Who knows what other incredible things we'll discover as we keep exploring the mysteries of the universe and ourselves. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the unknown. And be sure to check out the 2 videos on your screen right now to continue your journey. We'll see you in the next episode.